Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us live for our meeting. This is our July staff meeting, and if you have not yet, please sign in the comment section so I can put you in for the raffle for our little gift cards for joining us this evening. It will be recorded and it'll be put on YouTube, so if you have to leave because of something, you can always watch later, and those who didn't join us can always watch during active rest as well. In the comment section, I put in thinking about the upcoming school year, I'd like to, and then fill in the blank if anyone did. If not, no worries. Okay. So thinking about the upcoming school year, what you have in mind, maybe some goals, some things that you'd like to accomplish if you were with us last year, perhaps something that you didn't get to accomplish last year with your students. Our super staff member of the month of June. Remember, we're always a month behind, highlighting the people who went above and beyond in the month that just passed. And Miss Laura is our first person for super staff member, working effectively and efficiently each day to ensure her students are engaged and well cared for, and classroom parents receive frequent communication about their child's growth and development. She's supportive of her co-teachers and dives into any situation that comes her way. She's not afraid to get her hands dirty, and she's thoughtful of others and a terrific team player. So we want to highlight Miss Laura. She really stepped up throughout the month of June, especially having to do many different jobs. So we appreciate her. Thank you, Miss Laura. And another one is Miss Cheyenne. Congratulations to her. She is another super staff member of the month of June. She has developed into a strong, independent lead teacher of our private 3-year-old preschool students who best prepares them for independence and the expectations of the 4-5 preschool. She's receiving a promotion to NC Pre-K assistant teacher for the 2025-2026 school year because of her dedication, professional development, and ability to collaborate with respect and understanding for her coworkers. And we want to thank Ms. Cheyenne very much because she also dives in whenever needed, and without griping, she's in there and she's asking what you need. So thank you to Ms. Cheyenne, and congratulations to both of you. Your certificates and your cashola will be there tomorrow for you. And thank you to them. All right. So our July 2025 newsletter was put together by Miss Amy. Lovely summary job she did. Just talked about some of the things that we do in our summer programs, the events, and then she gave some recipes for bubbles and sweet, because July is kind of a laid back month, so we didn't have too much crazy to put on people, but the August newsletter, that's going to have a lot. All right. Welcome to Sneads Ferry and Holly Ridge Quality. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. Please let me know if I missed you. Stacy, she is a co-teacher in room 5 right now with Adrian, trying each other out, seeing how they're going to do for the school year come our pre-kindergarten graduate class. We have Miss Donna. Some of you may remember Miss Donna, and she is now a co-teacher in room 6 with Miss Cassidy, trying each other out again for the upcoming school year. We have Miss Dixie, who just joined us recently as a flex teacher, Miss Leslie as a flex teacher, Miss Paula as a flex teacher, Miss Shakira will be starting on Monday, I think, and Miss Tabitha has joined us at Holly Ridge. She was with us for a bit at Sneads Ferry getting trained, and hopefully will continue to be a co-teacher at Holly Ridge for our 3s classroom, 3s, 4s classroom. So thank you to them for joining us, and we hope everything's going well. All right. So these are reminders for new hires and everybody. Please do not park in that front row. It is dedicated for parent drop-off and parent pickup. As a parent, you definitely should use that space to drop your child off, but then hop back in your vehicle, take it around to the Cancun parking lot or wherever you're going to park, and then go to work, just like any of our other parents would do, so that we can leave that front row clear for drop-off and pickup, and making sure that it's available to parents, because some parents are all the way parking down at the house of breakfast, walk into classrooms with 3 kids, sometimes holding a baby carrier and hustling in the building. So we want to make sure we make it available to them. Clock in at most 5 minutes before your shift begins or coming back from lunch because it really does accumulate. I had the luxury of doing payroll for 2 times only, and it was like pure chaos. I had to keep going back and calculating, seeing if we gave people overtime because it was like over a half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes up to an hour of overtime, it looked like, but it really wasn't overtime. It was just clocking in early to the shifts. And if we ask you to stay for overtime, you are going to get your overtime pay or the pay that comes with that time we requested. But if you're clocking in early, that's not a thing. So please don't do that. All right. Please be honest. If you are struggling, if you're having trouble, always come to admin. We have open door policy. If we don't know, we can't help, especially if you're a new flex teacher and you have questions or you're curious about something that occurred in the day and you want to know more about it. Just come see us or speak with the teachers you worked with that day because you won't know until you ask. And get those hands dirty, dive in, and hopefully you're learning a lot if you're a new teacher with the individuals you've been working with. And then we're going to try to get people working in various age groups so we can see where you feel most comfortable. Fantastic June attendance. Miss Joyce did all the calculations and she looked through the attendance for June, and these wonderful individuals got their half day of PTO that they can use at their discretion. That means they had no call outs and they did not leave early abruptly from any day. Now, we understand people get sick. We understand that your children might get sick, but this is a reward system. We're not, there's no penalties here because you got sick. It's just earning half a day's worth of time to put into your PTO. You just have to make sure that you give us 2 weeks notice so you can apply the PTO to whenever you'd like. All right. Oh, and keep in mind, a half day constitutes how many hours you typically work. So some employees work 6 hour days, so they'll get 3 hours for their PTO bonus. Some people work 8 hour days, so they'll get 4 hours. So just keep that in mind. If you notice it's only 3, it's probably because you're only 6 hours a day. Reminders. Lesson plans should be posted before Monday morning. Some people are amazing with this. They have it ready. If it's not posted, it's in a drawer somewhere so the person who subs for them can grab it. So thank you for that. The menus should always be available to you. If you don't see one or maybe the teacher misplaced it, we can always print you a new one, but please make sure they are posted before Monday as well. Whiteboard should always be up to date. If someone comes in the room, you have a new student, they join you for the morning, just make sure you take a moment to go put them on your whiteboard. That helps Ms. Pam do her lunch counts, and that helps to make sure that we're within ratio. And when someone's who's doing the lunch board, they know how many kids are in your room so they can account for who's covering and if you're able to cover each other if you're in a classroom for ages 2 and up. Oh, empty your mailboxes. Some of those mailboxes are getting pretty full, so make sure you check them. And we're charging tablets and walkie-talkies, especially if you're a closer. Sometimes people leave the walkies in the emergency backpacks and forget about them. Sometimes they're forgotten outside. Please, if you're closing a classroom, just do a check. Make sure that the walkies are plugged into the stand and the tablets are being charged. Those fire tablets are being charged. There's the nap time checklist, making sure that we're doing something from that list each day so your classroom remains neat and tidy and beautiful. So wiping out those bins, making sure that you're sanitizing toys, especially if you're in a younger age group and there's a lot of mouth toys and you have a dirty toy bucket up there, taking once a week to make sure you're sanitizing toys. Purses and phones should be locked in the closet. Please never put your purse or your phone where it'd be accessible to students. We have had incidents in the past where it's totally unintentional, but it could happen. So please make sure they're locked in the closet, safe away from kids. And that way you are able to just be with children and engage with children. Phones and smartwatches should not interfere with supervising students. We do have everyone who signs the cell phone contract, making sure you understand that if your phone is being used for personal use when you're supposed to be supervising kids, that's a big deal. We take it very seriously because any incident could happen at any time, just like that. I mean, in an instant. So if you're fully supervising, engaging with kids, There's no need for your phone. Emergency phone call can come straight to the office and we will run you a phone so you can handle whatever emergency comes your way. If you need to take a break, you clock out, go make a phone call and come back in. That's totally fine. But I'd rather you tell us you need to make that call than secretly make a call or secretly text somebody and then your supervision is off and the children are at risk. Supply lists, make sure you have them into Brittany by Wednesday of each week. And when you want something special ordered, please make sure you put it at least in the set 2 weeks before so I can order it and it comes in time for your lessons. And reimbursements, make sure you get those approved first. Okay. Moving on. Hold on, I got somebody. All right. So we got, please don't restrain children. And this, we say it every time, but I want to make sure it's very clear. If you have a child who is having an episode, they having a fit, they threw their body to the ground, or they are throwing items, your goal is to keep everyone safe, which includes the other children in the room. So the other children in the room can be moved from that space. Say a children was having a difficult time in blocks. You're going to take all the other kids out of blocks, call for admin, and then we can come and assist while you either build that rapport with that child, you're working with them and you're building that relationship and waiting for them to de-escalate, handling that situation, and then we come in and we help with the other children in the room, keeping them out of harm's way, distracted. We might even need to go outside. Whatever the case may be, you have people who are here to support you. So make sure you use us and you use your co-teachers so that the children are safe and you can handle each incident appropriately. All right, moving on. Here we go. End of the day. Diaper changes should be completed before the last lead or co-teacher of the classroom leaves. So make sure you do one full round before the last teacher of the classroom leaves. So if your last teacher of the room, your co-teacher leaves at 4:30, they should all be done by 4:30 so that the flex teachers who come in are just addressing either newly soiled diapers or other incidents and pottying whenever your kids need to potty. But if you leave them all for those flex teachers who come in to cover, it's just looking for trouble because they may miss a kid's hiney, they may not know what specifically is used for each child, and then you're leaving them with a whole list of 16 kids to change. So we want to make sure that we take into account whoever is the last classroom teacher to leave, they handle the butts the last time, and making sure all those faces are nice and clean. Flex teachers are responsible. It's usually about 4:30 or 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So you may have a poop diaper and you got to change that, but it's not the whole class. If you find that it's happening where you have the whole class to change, please let us know and we'll try to work with that. Wipe noses and faces. We want to make sure that the kids are sent home clean and dry as can be. They might come to us with sleep crust and all kinds of crazy things and messy hair, but we're going to send them home beautiful. So we're going to wipe them down with a wipe. We're going to make sure that their heinies are clean and their faces are clean so that parents, rest assured, we take care of your itty bitty all day. They don't have snot just dried up all over their nose and lunch stains all over their face from pasta sauce. Okay, so when we're talking about supervision, it doesn't mean watching children. There are no babysitters at our schools. There are educators. Everyone is there to teach. And the capacity of teaching can range in every classroom, but we like to teach through play. So if you're engaging with children and you're on the floor and you're playing with them and you're asking them questions or you're singing silly songs, that's what I'm talking about. I don't want to see people sitting like lumps on a log, sitting on shelves, sitting in chairs, and you might be next to a kid or two, but you're not engaged with them. So we want to make sure that you're taking the position seriously because we take it seriously. We pride ourselves on being an early childhood education center. So we are teaching even in infancy. So our kids who graduate to go to kindergarten, those are the ones the teachers in kindergarten say, you came from Sneed's Ferry quality. You came from Holly Ridge quality because they can notice the difference in these children. Their verbal skills, their vocabulary, their problem-solving skills, self-regulation, all of that's in play. They don't have to know their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. They have to know how to be a good little citizen in the classroom before they can learn those things. That's what we're trying to get them to. We're trying to get them to be a good kindergarten citizen so they can go on and continue and grow and learn in public school or private school. Your body stays in the classroom. Please don't hang out the door, checking down the hallway. If you have an issue with it, just shut your door so you are not tempted. You're in the room, you're with students. There's nothing fancy outside but your whiteboard. So you're going to go right on the whiteboard and then go back in the room when you have a kid who joins you for the morning. If it's an urgent errand, say you forgot to make copies, that happens. Please send the flex teacher. The co-teacher and the lead teacher should not be the ones who are leaving the room. We notice often when we are well-staffed, we have our co-teachers and lead teachers and they start wandering. They start doing stuff that they feel is important, I'm sure, but you're leaving your classroom without the instructors. You're leaving the classroom without the people who are supposed to be there with the students. The flex teacher is there if you happen to have an urgent errand and I forgot to grab construction paper, please go ask front office then that's a job for the flex teacher to go grab, come back, and then they have a purpose in the room to engage and work with children. So please make sure you are using your flex teachers effectively and you are being effective in the classroom as well. And like I said, the incidents are becoming too frequent. So because we saw co-teachers and lead teachers leaving classrooms, we also saw some other things. There have been big behaviors happening recently. Now, not saying that they're all contributed to people slacking, but some are. We have big behaviors, biting, incidents, and they're just becoming too frequent. So from what administration has realized and noticed just from watching some video, it's not every classroom, but I'm just saying it to everyone so we're all on the same page. We were looking for antecedents. We were looking for what the cause of the behavior was, and it didn't look good. It did not look good on video. There were private conversations being had by teachers, between teachers, about things that had nothing to do with the classroom. Like it was stuff they shouldn't really be talking about in school. But it also ranged to, just conversations and chit chat. I understand you're in a room full of children and sometimes you just want to talk to an adult. I get it. I worked in my classroom by myself for 10 years and all I did was talk to second, third, and fourth graders. I craved for adult interaction. But when you're in your room, your focus are your students. So you want to talk to someone, please talk to your students. Ask them those questions, get them engaged, and make sure that you are supervising and engaging at the same time. You will notice a world of difference, I promise. If you have had the classrooms with these incidents and you kind of caught yourself, oh, it was probably me, we were chit-chatting a lot because this big drama just happened and then these incidents were occurring in the classroom, take the time, refresh, and now we're going to focus on engaging with the students. I'm going to go to students in the classroom. I'm going to sit with students. I'm going to work with students in small group experiences and make sure that they are engaged and learning. A bored child will cause tons of disruption and issues because they're bored, because they can. If they're focused on something else that you have put forth for them, then an incident's not going to happen, as likely going to happen. Now, they might have issues where they are upset about personal space issues, about who has what, whose turn it is. Those are things that you're going to teach in the moment because you're right there with them. So if you're engaged, you can have a teachable moment in this small group experience because you're there. You're in reaching distance of these itty bitties instead of across the room, sitting at a seat, kind of engaging with some kids. So just make sure that you are attentive to it and that you are really proactively trying to work with students in the classroom. You have a plan every day. We don't just walk into the room and say, all right, it's center time, and then you sit back and relax. That's not the time for that. That's the time you dive in and get your hands dirty with your kids. You're in housekeeping. You are cooking up something delicious with those kids. You're naming the colors of items. You're naming the ingredients. How much are we going to measure? Then you're talking about who we're going to feed. How do we set the table? You're establishing life skills. You're asking them questions. That's what I'm talking about. Not sitting at housekeeping, chit-chatting with the other teacher across the room about something, that doesn't constitute engagement. And I have seen it so many times, even with our wonderful teachers. I understand sometimes you just need to talk to an adult. I get it. But maybe that adult can join you guys and you're all working together and cooking something and you're talking to the adult. We want to make sure that we're focused on our kids in the classroom. So again, the leaving the classroom, please make sure you're not wandering, because those extra resources, those flex teachers, they are there to support the room with your guidance. So together, you will be a productive team, not you're going to go check stuff out down the hall and get something else and go get this. You're in your room with your students. The students were not being acknowledged, like I said. When we were watching video, it was actually astonishing and astounding that there were kids like right behind a teacher, and the teacher was focused on talking to the other teacher, where this child was trying to get their attention. I don't know how long it was. It must have been like 3 minutes of just them trying to get the teacher's attention. And then finally, when the teacher had their attention, they saw the catastrophe behind them. So making sure that you are fully engaged, you have a clear visual of one half of the room, and your co-teacher has a clear visual of the other half of the room, and making sure that you are supervising children. Messes are made, and then the teachers get frustrated. So this will hopefully be fixed because you're going to be engaging with your kids and you're going to be active in the classroom. So if you're sitting there like a lump on a log and they're all in blocks and they take all the blocks out and they take all the cars and people out, and then there's a ginormous mess, that's not going to happen anymore, because one of you will be with them and you will talk about how you only need to take out what you need to build your structure. You're going to talk about, okay, so I'm going to take 2 cars. Which 2 will you pick? And then you have 4 cars instead of all the cars. So you guiding them on how to keep an organized, safe space when they're playing. I mean, you can also talk about safety. If they're trying to walk around their block structures, but there's tons of things all over the floor, someone's going to trip and get hurt, right? Or their structure might get crashed into and fall down, and nobody wants that. So you being in it with them can teach them skills so that they're more productive players, right? They're playing productively and in a wise way, not making a huge mess, but they're still having fun in the meantime with what the activity is. So you being there means a lot. All right, lesson plans, scheduled activities, and curriculum. I'm hoping that they're all being taught and they're being executed. So please make sure if you have a plan for the day and these activities, that it's being followed through. And hopefully we start to see more of that, since I just had this little lecture part of our meeting, and we start to see some true engagement in the classrooms when I review video for next week. Okay, so your incident, your biting, your non-injury reports, and ABC charts, those are all legal documents. So a parent can come in, a caseworker can come in and say, hey, I need those documents. I need them for court. So they are legal documents. So we have to use blue or black ink only. We just state the facts, ma'am. No emotions are thrown into these things about how you assume a kid was angry. We can't assume they're angry. We can show what their actual observations were, that we saw what they did. So you observed their clenched fist, you saw their furrowed brow, you saw them throw something at a friend, they told you they were angry. Those are all things that we have witnessed, not assumptions that we're making about emotions. Complete all the sections of the report. If you've never done one of these reports, it's a great opportunity tomorrow. If you see one being done, or you talk to one of the teachers you've been working with, say, hey, I've never done a bite report. I've never done an incident report. Can you help me write one? And then they are aware to guide you through it the next time. Hopefully there won't be biting and incidents, but the next time there is one, they'll guide you through it, or maybe during rest time, they'll just walk you through it and have you write a fake one. So having those teachers to guide you and to model for you, that's why we put you into shadow with people. That's why we try to get teachers and our new flex teachers to join classrooms where they're not just all alone, not knowing what they're doing. We want to make sure you have that support in the classroom and you get hands-on training. So if you didn't fill one out yet, you haven't seen one of these things, ask the teachers you're working with tomorrow and they'd be happy to walk you through it. Again, just the facts, ma'am, no emotions. Don't assume what the kid was thinking. We would just want all the facts that you witnessed, like if you're a detective. And there's always video. So if you don't see what happened, we can play the tape back. We got him outside, we got him inside, and we can make sure that what you believe to have happened, because maybe you were doing something with another child and the incident happened over there. You only got the second half after that kid screamed. So you want to know what happened, what was the antecedent, what was the cause. We can play the video and we can show it and make sure that it's all straight. We got it right when we inform the parents. We want to make sure we are accurate. The incident reports, we keep the original if possible. Some parents accidentally keep the original. That's okay. And the biting and non-injury reports, they should be red and orange. And the non-injuries, I think they're white still. But those are also important and must be signed. Please take a picture of any incident report and send it on home through ProCare. That way we have a physical representation of what it was, just in case the parents take it home and we never see it again, we have a picture of it. So make sure if you are filling out a report, you take a picture, you send it to the parents. Hi, look out for this. It'll be in their take-home pocket today. And then they know what to look for and it doesn't go missing. We have it. I can always just print the picture and say, yes, this was filled out by this teacher. It just must have gotten lost at home or lost from the classroom to the office. In the ABC charts, those are antecedent behavior and consequence charts. Those are for children who exhibit concerning behaviors, and we want to kind of pinpoint what are the triggers, what time of day, is it some kind of pattern, is it when maybe a parent is gone from the home because we have tons of military families, and that could be definite trigger for why a child is exhibiting some severe behaviors. So to keep the ABC charts, they're more for data and anecdotal notes for us, but it's also shown to the parents so they know exactly what we're tracking and they're on the same page. Now, usually we implement ABC charts after we meet with the family and say, hey, this is the plan. If you start filling out ABC charts about their kid and then just show them one day, this is what I did, they may become defensive. So we want to make sure we prep them. We say, okay, these are our concerns. We're using this so we can track and support your child. And, it's not in a negative light at all. And we want to just support them so we can pinpoint where the concerns are, and then we can help them and recommend all those wonderful therapies and services that we have access to. So if you want to do ABC charts, just please inform admin. That way we can be on your team when talking to the parents about this is the plan. We don't catch them off guard. Okay, so Cape Fear meal program reminders. This is from a little while ago, but it does apply today because of what Miss Ruby was sharing earlier on the messenger, and I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. You should have the allergy list in your classrooms, and it should have a little red cover that says allergies. It should be updated. Miss Stephanie's very good about updating, and then Miss Pam double checks it. So if you have any concerns or someone's missing and you know they have an allergy, you're like, this kid doesn't have an allergy, but they're on this list. The parents said they're over their allergy, which happens sometimes. They've grown out of it. We need to have doctor's notes and we need to have parent notes to share and document it. Otherwise, it's like we chose the kid doesn't have an allergy anymore, and then we get in trouble. So we need to make sure it's in writing from the parents or the doctor. So when you're looking, okay, so this is what Ms. Ruby sent out earlier. I just want to make sure everybody saw it because I don't know if everyone's on the Facebook message group yet. So if you are not on the message group, let me know later and I will help you through it, or you can put in the little chat box that you need access to it and I will send it to you. If you have prepackaged food in your room and it's been opened, it has to go into those clear totes, those tubs with the seals. They have to be locked. And please use masking tape to date when you opened it. So whenever that package, the bot, whatever was opened, Then it goes back into a tub because you don't want to waste it. You want to feed it to your itty bitties later on. It has to just be sealed up, masking tape with the date, and put in the tub with the cover on. Please only offer items on the meal program list during meal service times, unless it's a special occasion or something. So for breakfast, if you are bringing in donuts, that we can't do that. So you have to make sure that there is something that you've informed admin about, because we need to also make sure that the parents are aware most of the time that something is happening in the classroom where they're going to change or add to the menu. Parties happen. We have tons of parties. Our classrooms love to party, but we want to make sure that the teachers make the parents aware that an occasion is coming, because you may not be aware that the parent doesn't want their kid to have all this sugar, blah, blah, blah. But if you're informing the parents, hey, we're going to have our Christmas party, and there's a sign-up sheet, a parent who's concerned about certain dietary needs for their child can then speak up. If we're handing out special snacks every day, that's going to become concerning for parents. So keep it to special occasions and birthdays and things like that. Your personal drinks and food must be stored 5 feet above, because we don't want itty bitties taking a sip out of your drink. And first of all, it's gross because their germs are all over it for you. But it could be something they're not allowed to consume in school. Soda, totally not allowed, things like that. So that's why we ask you to keep it in a concealed container. Pretend camouflage it up. I have given out, I don't know how many tumblers over the years. If you don't have a tumbler at home, I will find one and I will give it to you, so you have a tumbler to hide your Pepsi products or whatever it might be. The only thing that can be in a clear container is water. So if I can see it, it's water. If I can't see it, I'm assuming it's water. So some people have coffee throughout the day. Whatever it is, it just has to make us think, or whoever think, there's water in there, and move on. All right. Teachers and staff consume outside food during lunch breaks or active rest. Please don't bring in your McDonald's. First of all, I'm going to probably go to eat it if you bring it in during active time, so don't let me see it. But if you bring it in to eat, it has to be during rest time. It has to be in a time when the children are not active in the room. Please don't be munching on fries and other things when you're supposed to be working with kids. The things you can snack on are the things that are served from our kitchen. So if you wanted some animal crackers because you got a hankering and you're hungry, just make sure that you are eating items that come from the kitchen. You have those tubs now with your prepackaged food items. And if you're eating and the children want to eat, then you have to offer a whole snack out. So just keep that in mind. It's going to just become another thing on the list. But if you are that hungry, I'm not going to say don't eat, but I am going to say you're going to have to share with the kids. So I know some of our toddlers get a mid-morning snack sometimes when they're hangry, and they just take from the tubs and they pass them out to the toddlers, and the teachers eat the snack as well. That's totally fine, but making sure that you don't deny the kids if you're eating it in front of them. So it has to be something that we serve. If you are getting DoorDash or something delivered, it has to be stored in your closet or somewhere else out of reach of kids until it's rest time. So don't order too early because you'll be having cold food when they're resting. We are peanut free, but there are students with tree nut allergies in our facility. Now, that just means we are a no peanut facility. Can't serve anything with peanuts, but Miss Pam does serve sun butter. So there are other items too that we have with tree nuts, like almonds and things like that. Until we have a severe allergy that is noted by the office, those things will continue to be served from the kitchen, just so everybody's aware. We just want to make sure that peanuts do not come into the facility at all, because anaphylactic shock is a real thing and we've dealt with it in the past with an adult. I can't imagine the same situation with a child. Okay, so this is the meal program form. You may see it and say, hey, I know that. And it's very blurry, so I'm sorry. But some of you have yet to fill one out, so this is a good lesson for you. We want to mark these at point of service. So what that means is when breakfast is served, when lunch is served, and when afternoon snack is served. Those are the point of service times. Don't fill it out before or after those chunks of time because they will not count if Miss Sam Small from Cape Fear comes and visits. So please make sure you fill it out on time. Many of you are very diligent about it, so I greatly appreciate that. You'll see that there it's blurry, but in this column here is where the attendance is. So are they here today? This is a breakfast column here. Did you offer them breakfast? And then here's the lunch one. Did you offer them lunch? And P is PM snack. Did you offer them PM snack? They could say no, I don't want it. They could just sit with a plate full and not touch it. You offered them lunch. So please make sure you keep that in mind when you're marking kids. Everyone in the room who's in attendance is offered the meal. Everybody got that, I hope. Okay. If you are writing a child in, it's because they either just enrolled or they just moved up to your room, and we're always a week behind when we do meal program and our move ups because they have Brittany has to re-enter the kids from the previous week. So that's why we're always a week behind, and then they'll pop up the following week. So for the week they have joined you and they're new to the room, just write their names in, and that way we can keep track of the attendance and the meals that they were offered. At the bottom here, you're going to see number counts. You're just counting down the columns, adding them up, counting them up. And then down at the very bottom, you're going to sign at the end of the week, and you're going to date it at the end of the week. A big issue is when we have a mistake. So, oops, I put the X, they left early. I forgot. I shouldn't have put an X. You just circle the X. That is it. Do not white out. Don't cross out. Just circle it. Just circle it. Okay? It's a weird thing to remember. So circle the mistakes. Okay, staff children. We've touched on this before, but I want to make sure because we have some new staff children who have joined us, so everybody will be in the same boat. Pretend your fellow staff members are far away at work every day. They're not next door. They're not in the office. They don't walk by your classroom every day. They're not there because we're treating all the staff parents like all other parents. And that's important. We want to make sure that you're contacting them through ProCare during the school day. You're sending those pictures, you're updating them. Hey, so-and-so needs wipes, or questions you have for parents, whatever the case may be. As long as it's not urgent, it goes through ProCare. Ask admin to reach out if urgent matter or a concerning issue. So say something's happening with my kids, you'll ask Amy to reach out to me and tell me. So admin, you can call another admin by name, but treating it like we're not there. We don't exist when it comes to our kids. Reserve conversations for drop off and pickup. This is a time, just like you would with any other parent, that you're going to do those brief conversations, not full-blown conferences. Remember, if you want to have a conference, we could totally schedule that for any parent. But these are those brief, short, and sweet ones where you just ask a question, you fill them in on something, and then if it's a bigger concern, we set up that time so you can have a constructive conversation. So they're just like any other parent guardian. And staff is a big one. Cannot discipline their child during classroom time. Don't ask us to go in, and mine, it doesn't work with mine at all. They just do the reverse of what I say when they're in school. But anybody else, if you wanted the parent to go discipline their child or handle their kid because they're off the chain, they can't do it. So call for admin, specific admin. Have your co-teacher help support you, but we can't ask that teacher to come in and work with their own child. They can do it at home. You can fill them in. Hey, so-and-so had this issue. There's a behavior report, a non-injury for you to take home. Fill them in at pickup a little further, and they will handle it just like other parents would at home after pickup time.
Just to clarify, aunts can, however, discipline their family.
Yes. Aunts can discipline my children. And they were calling you Aunt Joyce. There were a couple kids who said, "Oh, is Aunt Joyce coming?" And I'm like, "No, you call her Miss Joyce." Some poor kids. All right. So we got ADP, 401k. We are taking away our simple IRA. We're going to do a 401k. You get better benefits for this, and Joyce and I pay less money. So everybody wins. Eligible employees are employees who have been with us for 1 year or longer. So if you've vested 1 year already, you can partake and enjoy a 401k. However, the stipulation with the 401k is if you leave before the second year is done, our contributions to your account come back to the business, but you keep your monies that you put in. So the amount that we matched for those 2 years, for those 3 years, 1 year, will come back to us. So you have to stay with us for longer than those 2 years for the matched amount to stick. But everything that you contribute is your money, obviously, and it follows with you wherever you want to go. 401ks are also easier to transition out of the accounts we have versus the simple IRA. It had a lot more stipulation to it. So 401k, you vested 1 year with us, you get to start making contributions, and we start matching 3.5%. But by the second year, if you leave between those that year right there, the first and second year, then the matches come back to the business, but your money goes with you. If you stay past the 2 years, then you get everything, right? You just keep it all and it keeps growing and growing. Now you can match whatever you see fit. I have one employee who's contributing exactly what we match. So she puts in 3.5% of her weekly pay. We match 3.5%, and then that's what it is. Some people want to put in $200 because they got some great raise, or someone else got a raise in the family and they can afford that, whatever the case may be. But the range of amounts that you put in, some people feel like they have to put in a lot of money at once. Every time you do not. You can put in $10 a week if you choose to. But it's just a way for you to build on your retirement, and it's a wonderful thing that we get to offer to our employees. So I'm hoping that people take advantage of it and plan for their retirement with us, because that shows longevity, right? All right. So then we have enrollment in the plan. If you didn't get an email yet from ADP, the email will be coming to you. It's all eligible employees. So everyone who's been with us for a year and over, you should get an email from ADP about enrolling in the 401k very soon. If it didn't happen already, very soon. The instructions, I'm going to make sure that you have access to them, and they will send you the instructions too, but it's a link that you can click, you enroll whatever month that you choose to enroll. So if we're still in July, you would have put this code in. If you enroll in August, it'll be this code, September, this code, and then moving forward, it's like this automatic program of a form. So this is just for the first 3 months. And then the educational portal teaches you about the benefits and the different things that you can invest in. Oh, and also simple IRA. I asked my dad because he used to do this for a living. So the in the market, the choices for the 401k are much more lucrative for the investors than the simple IRA was. So it's like also another icing on the cake. You get more money for the money that you're putting in, right? Your money makes more money. Okay. Logical consequence, or like shifting gears here, but logical consequences. I want to make sure that everyone knows that the goal of a logical consequence is to stop the behavior, right? The misbehavior. We want to stop it. Some kids need a redirection before you can address the behavior that just happened. So you'll notice that a kid might be in fight or flight and just taken forever. They might need you to just either hopefully give them a hug and it's received. Don't give them a hug if they're thrashing around. But you might even need to just distract them with a change of topic or a change of scenery. And then you can address the issue at hand, because they're in that high emotional state. They are not going to listen. They will not understand what's happening until you get them back to focus. We also want to preserve the child's dignity, calling them out in front of the class, embarrassing them. talking about the misbehavior in a negative light in front of another adult is going to cause that kid to amplify the behavior. So, oh, he just threw stuff, he hit him with the block. I don't know what you're saying this in front of the kid. They're on it now. That's it. That's what they're focused in on, that it's being highlighted. So if you need to fill admin in, you can step aside with us and we'll speak about it away from the child in question, or just let us dive in and we'll try to get it out of the kid when we change their environment or address the issue with them. Or maybe we're working with the whole group and you're working with the kid. So we want to make sure that they also understand how their behavior affects their own and their classmates' learning. How did that just affect everybody? Because they're in their own world, right? They're throwing that block because they're frustrated at something that happened. They have no connection of what throwing the block does. What's the trickle down effect? Who else does it affect? So having them understand that once they've come and calmed down, that helps as well. The logical consequences are used when everybody's calm. If you feel like you're high on tense and emotional, it's not going well. So call for admin. You might need to take a walk for yourself, especially if they're pushing your buttons all morning long. Take a break, then come back, and you're going to be cool, calm, and collected and ready to handle it. When students break the rules, that's when we want to use logical consequences, because our expectations and their expectations for their peers are above all else important, right? So we want to make sure everybody follows the classroom expectations at all times. And when simple cues and language are not effective, you given them, okay, you can choose this or you can choose this, and they keep going, they're still stubborn, and then they kind of need a consequence because they didn't pick the nice positive choices you just gave them. Food is not a consequence. You cannot withhold a special treat. Everybody else gets to pick from this treasure box of candy, and you don't get to. We can't withhold food. Now, earning treasure box is different, but if it's a singled out child, please avoid that at all costs, because that's going to leave lasting impressions and it's going to amplify negative behavior. We want to make sure that kids are rewarded. Doesn't mean that it's not like that everyone gets a medal thing, but food cannot be withheld. So if everyone's going to have cupcakes as a special birthday celebration, but little Mikey decided he wasn't going to clean up his blocks, you can't take his cupcake away. But you can make it so he has to clean up blocks before he enjoys his cupcake. That's a logical consequence. If a kid refuses, like I just said, to clean up before going outside, outdoor time can't be taken away, but they might have to clean up their mess before going outside. So the change of mindset comes with they have to do this before they get the next fun thing. Not that the next fun thing is completely removed and off the table. I hope I made it clear, because there's a difference there from saying, oh, you don't get to go outside, you lost outside, versus we clean this up first, then you can go outside. They may be stubborn enough to hold out for a whole half hour, not cleaning, but they know that if they clean up, then they can go outside, versus outside was taken away from them, versus cupcakes or whatever the treat was taken away from them. It's they had to finish a task, the expectation, before the fun thing.
Can I add, there has to be a way back to redemption,
Yes.
or that you're just going to have a miserable day with that kid.
All is lost.
So try again later or something like that. Because if you're like, oh, now you've lost whatever, and that doesn't happen for another 6 hours, there is no incentive to learn how to correct the behavior.
Right. They have to have that. There's still a chance, still a possibility that you can get it back. Because like Amy said, once that mindset is set, there's no hope. All hope is lost. That's the end of the day. I mean, that kid is just set off for the rest of the day. So we do have to make sure that they understand there's this, then that can happen, or you can always come back and try again. So these are resources that I picked out for logical consequences. This one, especially the Vanderbilt resource, is great, and it has lots of different free things and videos for teachers to use. Behavioral expectations. I wanted to show this video and then we're going to talk about it. It sets, like I was just talking about, the expectations of the class, but I want to make sure I get rid of this line here. I don't know how to get rid of it. Let's see if I can erase. No. Oh, it's the notations from the All right, well, whatever it is. We're going to watch our video and there's going to be a line.
Stating behavioral expectations. In this module, we focus on the importance of stating expectations for the children in their preschool classrooms, and we offer 4 steps to guide teachers' planning. Stating behavioral expectations in advance is a proactive teaching strategy that helps to prevent problem behavior. The House framework was developed by the National Center on Quality Teaching and Learning to highlight and organize the important components of quality teaching and learning and to show how the components work together. Stating behavioral expectations in advance fits into the foundation of the House. It's a foundational teaching strategy. There are lots of reasons why children might not know all the behaviors that are expected of them in their preschool classrooms. The child might be new to school or to the experience of playing and learning with a group of children. The child may be moving into a new classroom. There also may be a few differences between what's expected at school and what's expected at home or in other places. We've all found ourselves in new situations and in new places where we felt a bit uncomfortable. It helps to have someone be the guide, to tell us what's expected, and help us feel more comfortable and confident. In the preschool classroom, the teacher can be the guide and can teach the children the expectations and help them be successful. Behavioral expectations are the appropriate behaviors expected from children during specific activities and routines. For example, the teacher may expect children to use quiet voices when inside the classroom, or raise their hands at circle time when they have ideas or answers, or say please and thank you when passing the food at mealtime. Teachers state the behavioral expectations by saying what they want to see. It's helpful to think of the steps that make up the teaching strategy of stating behavioral expectations in advance. Even though teachers use this strategy in the moment they are interacting with children, it actually requires planning outside of classroom time. Here are the 4 steps: anticipate, develop a plan, prepare the children, and recognize children's appropriate behavior. To anticipate behaviors means that the teacher needs to do some work ahead of time. The teacher thinks through the activities and routines of the school day and asks questions like, what happens when the children arrive? Or, what are the expectations for free choice or for time at the interest areas? Do the children get to choose? Are there a limited number of spots at each center? Do the children need to clean up after each center? There are many questions to be answered. This work can be done with the teaching team so that all the adults in the classroom know the expectations. The next step is to plan. Write out the expectations in a positive way. Write what you want the children to do. Plan and gather the teaching materials that may be needed to help children learn the expectation. Some teachers use posters or pictures or stories. The third step is to prepare the children for what you expect to see, your expectation. This can be done by stating the expectation at the beginning of the activity or before the transition to the next activity. Check to make sure that children really understand. And repeat the expectations often, especially at the beginning of the school year, or when a child is new to the classroom.
What is that? Can she watch with you? Can she have one of the magnifying glass?
And now the 4th step, recognize and acknowledge children's appropriate behavior. Teachers can do this by making positive statements, making eye contact and giving smiles, or sending notes home. There are lots of ways to recognize children as they are learning the behavioral expectations of classroom activities.
I see somebody raising their hand. So look at there, caring and being respectful.
This module highlighted the teaching strategy we call stating behavioral expectations. This is a proactive strategy that helps children feel more comfortable and confident in their classrooms. And it's a strategy that can prevent problem behaviors from occurring. Please see our tips and tools and helpful resources.
Okay. So I wanted to show you that because it has a lot to do with stating those expectations. Obviously, that was the video, but to have a plan of action with your co-teachers and whoever's in your room of what to do to address the behaviors before they occur. So it even works with our itty bitties. What are you going to anticipate happening? You know who your biters are. You know who your children who have high emotional states when they get frustrated are. We want to make sure we anticipate the behavior before it happens. And it could just be with your small group of students. You know, you're going to give these directions. You're going to make sure everybody has a role when they're playing whatever game and they're learning to play a board game together, maybe in class. And then you plan for those things to happen in the classroom so you can address them and make sure you are prepared. And then we want to recognize, hold on, I put it all here, so let's look at it. So anticipating the behaviors. What do you want to see happen? So have an idea, write it out in your lesson plan. What do you want to see happen? And also, what have you noticed previously? You know who your children are who might have these difficult behaviors and you want to address them. Develop a plan together. Make sure that maybe in the beginning of the year with the older kids, you're making those anchor charts, you're including pictures of them in action doing the expectation. So using walking feet, sitting crisscross applesauce. Maybe they are drinking, just simply drinking a cup with two hands when they're little, and you have a picture of someone doing that, and then you can praise using the picture and referencing it when you're teaching these skills. And you're working with your co-teachers and admin on this. So we're all a team. We're trying to help the students in the classroom so that when they're productive citizens, you guys have one little weight off your shoulder, hopefully, as they are learning these skills and becoming good little citizens of the classroom. Teaching expectations. So we want to say what you want to see out loud to your students. You can do this during circle time. If you feel like you can't get everyone's attention just yet with a big circle time, do it in small groups. Do it when you're playing in free choice with them and you're teaching the skill, but you're also playing at the same time. So it's learning through play. It's not too structured for our little ones, but they're still learning. You're modeling the behavior that's expected. You're also implementing throughout the day. It's not just one time of the day you're teaching the skill, you're readdressing it. So you might even choose to do one skill a week. You might do a bunch throughout the day, but making sure that you are doing it throughout the day. Having students teach and model for each other. You have those little teachers in your classroom, so they're going to take it upon themselves to teach the others. Why not give them that role? Or give the role to the child who struggles with that expectation and make sure they're the teacher for when you're doing it in whole group for circle time or during small group. And that way you can have them feel confident in their ability to exhibit the expectation, right? To uphold the expectation. And then we're recognizing the children's appropriate behaviors. Praise them, praise them, praise them, celebrate them together. Making sure that you're sharing with families all the positive that you notice. Oh, so-and-so was able to line up with their hands by their side today and wait to go outside with our friends. They guided their classmates to do the same. Create a job for a catcher, like I caught you being awesome slips that we have, and they can have a little lanyard, whatever, a little tag, and they're the catcher. So they're going to catch their friends doing and meeting the expectations in the classroom. And you can have little reward system, little certificates of someone who does it throughout the day, but just highlighting it so those who struggle know that they can just meet the expectation and they can get super praise. They're getting highlighted. Our tones and phrasing state the expectations. So we use walking feet. We give them the two choices. You can walk or you can tiptoe, but running, we could trip and fall down. So you give them that reason of why they can't run in the classroom. The older ones sometimes need the why. The younger ones just need short, simple phrases, and then for you to follow through on the expectation. That's a big deal, to follow through. Don't just state it and then walk away. We state it, and if they model it and they proceed, great. If they don't, then we want to kind of guide them a little bit and help them out. Okay. So I'll go more into this when we have our staff development day for our teacher enrichment day on the 22nd of August. But I wanted to give you a head start so that you understand there needs to be a plan in place, because If you have a plan together, you know how you're going to tackle these expectations and teach them to your students. I am also going to do this when we have our staff development day, our EPR plan. So that's the abridged version. Classroom school year assignments. I wanted to go over this because this, obviously it's not set in stone, but I thought it would be good to give everyone a visual of what the plan might be. I didn't even finish filling out the flex teachers because I was doing this last minute. So I apologize if your name is not here. Obviously you're here for the school year. Just, I didn't type everybody out yet. If you see interviewing and you are interested in that position, please let us know. School age with Miss Katie, interviewing for that. If you're interested, please let us know. To join Miss Laura in room 9 because Miss Nevaeh will be back to doing afternoon with us. So Miss Nevaeh won't be there all day. We'll need a co-teacher with Miss Laura. At Holly Ridge, we're interviewing for a 3-4 teacher for our little classroom because we are very close to having to open it. So I want to make sure that we have someone lined up. And they will be on their own because it's only a classroom of 6 to 8 students. And then the school age teacher for there, Miss Whitney, she has a new job opportunity. So unfortunately, she'll be leaving us in a couple weeks. And I want to make sure that that job position is filled as well. We're getting a new apprentice, but he is not able to be on his own yet with the students. Okay, so if you have questions about these room assignments, please ask, but I put it out there so that everyone can kind of see it and have an image of what the plan is. But remember, the plan may not even be the plan 4 weeks from now when we start school. So this is just ideal plan. More resources. When I send this PowerPoint out, please take time to use these resources when you're planning, especially when you want to use the social emotional skills. And there's resources here that are for you. I pay Twinkle, we pay for conscious discipline, and those resources are awesome. But you have to use them, right? So if you have questions about them or you need some support in getting through those websites, just ask because they are fantastic resources, as well as the Tucker Turtle Stories for Social Emotional Skills are here in the pyramid model links, and you can just print the stories. Some of the stories can be customized to students in your room so that the social stories are about the kid and they feel a sense of ownership about the story when you read it with them. Okay, oops, sorry everybody. Okay, Cox Campus, again, free classes. I love it because it gives you videos of real classrooms and interactions with students, and then you're able to go on about, okay, well, this teacher did these things that are fantastic, but these things they needed work on, and you can critique the classroom environment. They're not just showing you something that is totally out of your league and not possible in a real classroom. It is a real classroom. So you're going to see all the nitty gritty. And then the trainings that must get done. Miss Ruby sent a nice little joke out earlier, but it is a serious matter. And she did say she knows who you are, so she will come find you. She has a wonderful PowerPoint that goes through all the directions for all your health and safety, all the necessary trainings for your first year. Please use that PowerPoint. It is very straightforward. There should be no questions asked about how to do something because it's all there. She took the time to make it. These are live links, so if you do go to this PowerPoint, you can click the link and go and take the courses yourself, but she has one that takes you step by step. And remember, we have an open door policy, so if you ever have any questions or concerns, anything you want to tell us, please tell us, because if we don't know about it, like Ms. Joyce says, then we cannot help you through it. We cannot help support you. So please make sure that you are bringing things to our attention, because otherwise we're unaware. We're not watching the cameras 24/7. We're not listening to what your issues are when you're telling another teacher, but we are listening if you want to come tell us or message us about it so we can help you through it. All right. Thank you for joining us this evening. And if you have questions, feel free to message me or catch me in the morning, and I will be there to help you out. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us.